In this video, I show you how to integrate your System.io calendar with your Google Calendar. So recently, System.io has made a few updates to their calendar feature, which now enables you to connect your System.io account to Google Calendar. So this now will enable you to still take your bookings through the System.io calendar, but then add all your appointments to your Google Calendar. This, first of all, will make it much easier for you to manage your bookings via your Google Calendar, but will also prevent double bookings as well, which is, of course, awesome and really important. So with this setup, you'll still take your bookings through the System.io calendar that will be embedded on your pages, your funnel pages or a website or whatever. And then those client bookings are automatically added to your Google Calendar. So if none of that made sense, don't worry, stick with me and it will all be very clear. However, if you're watching this video, then I presume all of you pretty much are going to know what I'm talking about here. So let's get into the video and I'll show you exactly how to set all this up. Okay, so here we are inside my System.io account. And the first thing we need to do is connect our System.io account with our Google Calendar. So come up to the top right and hover over your profile icon and then click settings. And then on this page, scroll down and find integrations. Click on this. And now here we have the option to integrate Google Calendar. Click on this option. And now here we need to click the connect button. Now this is going to open a list of our Google accounts. I'm going to click on the one we want and then click on continue. And now you have to grant permissions to System.io to be able to access your Google Calendar. So click on the check marks, scroll down to the bottom, click OK, continue. And now here we can see that my Google account is now connected to my System.io account. So first of all, here I have to select the calendar. This is the Google Calendar. And you have a drop down menu here with your list of calendars. So I'm going to select the correct one. So please bear in mind, you already need to have your Google Calendar set up already. So in case you don't know how to do that, you just head over to your Gmail account and then in the top right corner, you have the little apps icon, these 9 little dots. Click on this and then you'll find the Google Calendar option right here. Click on that and then you can create your Google Calendar and name it what you want. And then once you've named your Google Calendar, you will then see it in the drop-down list here. So I've selected the one I want. And now this is really important. This is a very helpful new feature that System.io has added. So this is check for conflicts. So if I click on the drop-down, here will be a list of all the calendars I have set up in this account. So you want to select all the ones where you might have appointments or bookings. So therefore you don't want them to conflict with any bookings that are taken through your System.io calendar. So for example, if I already had a booking that was set up on one of these two calendars, that means when someone comes to my System.io calendar, they will not be able to select that same time slot because it's already booked on my Google Calendar. Because now my Google Calendar is talking to my System.io account. Hope that makes sense. So clearly I'm leaving this one unchecked, which is the holidays in the United Kingdom. I'm not bothered about that. So once you've made your selections, this is going to auto save. And now your Google Calendar is connected to and talking with your System.io account. So now from here, when we go to CRM and go to calendar, when we set up a calendar or a new event, we'll have the option to connect that event with our Google Calendar. So first of all in here, if you haven't done so already, make sure you set up your global availability right here. This is really helpful and handy as having your general times during the week when you're available for appointment bookings. But then, like I said, if someone else has already booked a time slot within any of these times, then your calendar won't show that time slot. I hope that makes sense. So when you've set up your global availability, come up to the top right, click on save. And now when we go to events to create a new event, come over to the top right corner where the button says create an event. So here, it's going to name this event 1-to-1 call Steve test. And you select the duration. Let's go for an hour. And now you have to select the location. So online, phone, or in person. So I'm going to go for online. And I've already got my Zoom account connected to my System.io account. So I'm choosing Zoom. Can also connect to Google Meet if you prefer, or if you've got another platform you'd rather have your meeting on, you can check this one and put the link in right here. I'm going to go for Zoom, click on save, and you can write a description of the event as well. And then here, now we've got this option that says add event to Google Calendar, which is great. So check this, toggle that on, and now we need to select our calendar. This is our Google Calendar. Because I've already set up the global availability that I just showed you earlier, which is generally my general times for the week where I'm available for appointments potentially, if there's no other bookings in those time slots. I can just toggle this to on and just use those time slots. Or if you wanted to create unique time slots just for this event only, then you can do that here by checking the days of the week and then selecting the times on those days. So I'm just going to go back to my global availability, this event, and down here, you have your start time increments. If you want to offer appointments like every 30 minutes or every 15 minutes, I'm going to leave it on every 30 minutes. And now here, this is how many appointments max you'll have or you are allowed to be booked in a day. So if you don't want more than, 5 or 3, let's go for 3. Say that's your general limit. Once you've got 3 appointments booked in there that have been added to your Google Calendar, your System.io calendar will not allow someone to book an appointment on that day. And then here we have our buffer time for before and after the event. So if you want 10, 15 minutes before or after, let's say you want 10 minutes before the call just to get a coffee, and then 10 minutes after just to go for a pee for before your next call or whatever. And I recommend leaving this checked here, automatically detect and show the times in my invitee's time zone. Come to the top and click on save and preview. And now here we have our calendar set up and we have the appointments listed. And it's only going to show appointments that are available or time slots that are available that are not already booked by someone else in my Google Calendar. So that's why for tomorrow, there's only one time slot left available. So I hope that makes sense. So this is now set up, so we can close on this. And now we have our new event here, one-to-one call Steve test. So now you're going to want to embed this System.io calendar, this event we've just set up, onto either one of your funnel pages or a page in your website so you can start taking bookings. So let me show you how to do that now. So come up to the top and select websites. We're going to do this in Sales Funnels. You can also do it on one of your blogs if you like. You can embed it on any page you like, really. I've got a funnel down here that I use as a test funnel for my YouTube videos. So I'm going to select this funnel. So just ignore these pages. We can just pretend this is a blank slate. And we're going to add a new page. Come down to the bottom where it says add step. And now here we want to add the page where we're going to embed our calendar on. So I'm going to write calendar in here. And now from the page type, this is really important. You need to select a page type that allows for an email form field submission. So for example, a squeeze page. So a squeeze page is a page that you would use to collect someone's email address. So I'm going to choose squeeze page here. Now, the reason for this is that in your System.io calendar, the calendar will be collecting the name and email address of your client as they book their appointment. That's why you need to select a page type that allows that functionality. So if that doesn't make sense, don't worry, just select squeeze page. Click save. And now here on our calendar page right here, we're going to choose our template. Let's just find an easy one to work with. I'm going to choose this one right here, click select, and I'm going to come to edit page. And now here, let's put the calendar right here. So I'm just going to delete some of this info that we don't want in here right now. Let's get rid of these form fields and that button. Don't want that. Let's get rid of that right there. And that little checkbox. Don't want that either. So now I'm going to embed it into this space right here. So I'm going to come over to the left sidebar and scroll down. And as we look through these elements, we're going to see the calendar element right here. Going to click, drag and drop that right in the middle where I want it. And here is the System.io calendar, which I personally think looks really nice. I think they've done a good job with designing this. So when you click the actual calendar, you'll see the sidebar will change. So now we have the settings here to configure our calendar. So first thing we need to do is come into the event type here and select the event. And the one we set up is this one-to-one call Steve test. So that's the one I'm going to pull in right there. And it pulls that information that we set up as well. It's going to be a 60-minute call on Zoom and it's with me. And if you want to change the colors and the look of all the calendar, you can do that right here. So that's really easy enough to do. Let's just switch that to my brand color. And then, so what happens is once the client books their appointment time and clicks the next step button, they're then shifted to step 2 of the form right here. And you can access step 2 of the form to edit it right here in the left sidebar menu by clicking on this little form box that will then turn blue, which means this is now active for us to edit the information you want to collect from your client at the time when they book. So first name, last name, email and phone number is generally set up by default. You can delete any of these or add more if you want to. And if you want to add more, come over to the left sidebar, scroll down, you'll find the form input field. You can drag it across, drop it where you want it, click on it to select. Then the left menu bar will change because now we have the settings for this particular form field. And at the top here, it says input type. Here is where you can select what kind of information you want to collect from the client. So I'm just going to delete that because I don't really need it there. And now, once you've got this looking how you want, come over to the left sidebar menu again and now select the third option in our System.io calendar feature right here. So if I click on this little grey box, this is the thank you page or the thank you box for our calendar. Now this is just confirming to the client that the call's been booked and here's the details of that call. Now, just so you know, because you've collected the person's email address on the form right here, as soon as they've submitted this information, they've booked their appointment will then be added to your Google Calendar, but then also System.io will send them an email on your behalf with the information for the booking along with the Zoom link. And System.io will also send another reminder email, I think 24 hours before the call, and I believe another one, I think it's an hour or maybe 15 minutes before the actual call. And that's all set up for you, so you don't have to do anything there. Now, personally, what I think is really handy as well is once the client's booked in, is you're probably going to want to ask your client a few questions ahead of the call. For example, you might want to say, what do you want to discuss on your call? Or if it's a sales call, then you might want to ask some information about their business or whatever it is. So in order to do that, what we can do now is we can link this box here to a Google form, which is brilliant. And then the Google form will collect the information for you. So in order to do that, with this box selected, come over to the left sidebar, and we're going to choose where it says, do you want to redirect the client after booking? From the drop down, I'm going to select to the next step. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up another thank you page to redirect the client to once they click this button and embed the Google form onto that page. Now, alternatively, if you're really lazy, you could just put this option here to a custom URL and then embed the URL for your Google form right here. I just think it looks a little bit nicer to create just one more page, which is super simple to set up. I'll show you in a sec. So we'll redirect the client to that page and embed the form on that page. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on Save Changes. Now, before we do that, you just need to come into your Google account from your Gmail account, click these little dots, and you can find Google Forms right here, and then set up your Google form. So here's a Google form. I haven't actually set up any questions because this is just a demo, but let's just say we set up, 5 questions on here. Once you're happy with it, come to the dots in the top right, and then we want to select this option, which is the Embed HTML. Click this, and now here is the HTML code for our Google form. So in a minute, we're going to come back here to grab this and embed it on our page. But before we do that, we just need to publish our form first of all. So this is published and ready for us to come back to grab it, to embed it on our page. So before we do that, I'm back in my funnel. I've saved my changes. Oh, actually, I missed one more thing. What I wanted to do as well is on this book, when it says booking confirmed, it's got the finish button. I just want to add a headline here just to make it really clear. I want the client to press this button. So if I'm going to write something like this, important, please click the finish button to fill our client intake form. Must be completed before your call. It takes 3 minutes. Okay, so now the client will click this button. They'll be redirected to the last page where we'll have our form embedded. So click Save Changes and we'll go to Exit. And so our calendar page is right here. So we need the next page to be after the calendar page, which is where we're going to embed our form. So I name it Google Form for this page, and the page type, I'm going to select a thank you page. Click on Save. Now here we need to choose a template. Let's just go with this one. Click Edit. And I was going to delete some of this crap we don't need right now. Get rid of that. And I'm going to drop in a row where I'm going to embed our form. So let's put it underneath the thank you. You, of course, change your title. Okay, something like that. So now we've created this row, what we need to do is come over in the left sidebar and scroll down, search to our elements and find this one that says raw HTML. So I'm going to drag this over and drop that into our row. And now when I click on this element, I have this option in the top left here that says edit code. Click on here, and now here is where we can edit or drop in the code for our Google form. So come back to Google Forms. Here is our form. Let's just pretend it's got about 5 or 6 questions. Move to the top right, click on the dots menu, select the embed HTML. Now here is our code. Click copy. And come back to our page, delete this nonsense that's already in there and paste our code in, and then click save. So now here is our Google form embedded into our page. So it's not going to look quite as crap as that on the actual page. When we've saved it, this is just what it looks like in the editor view of this page. So just because of my OCD, I'm going to space that out. That's just kind of annoying me. Anyway, drop that down, click on save. And now we click on the eye icon to view this page. This is what it's going to look like. So when they come to this page, they'll see our heading and the form embedded right here. So click on Save Changes, exit that page. So what's basically going to happen is once your client has landed on this page with our calendar on it, here is where they can book and choose their time slot. So they'll choose their time slot, goes to the next step. They'll fill in their information. They'll click on Submit. And now booking confirmed, important, please click the finish button to fill our intake form. They'll click finish and they go to our page where they can answer our questions. Now your Google form will collect that information for you inside your Google account. Pretty cool. Now, what if you wanted to do this with a paid call? If you want to do this with a paid call, you set up exactly the same, except you'll just add an order form before the calendar page right here. So for example, you'd add a step and then the page type will be your order form. Click save. Say, for example, this is the page we're going to choose. Click select. And then once the customer fills out the information to purchase your call, they click on the proceed with the payment option. They'll then be directed or redirected to your calendar page, which is the one we just set up here, where they can book their time slot. And then after that, they are directed to your Google form page. So just make sure that order form page is actually appearing before your calendar page. So if this was a paid call, they'd first come to the purchase page. They'd then automatically be redirected to your calendar to book the time slot. And then they're redirected to the thank you page to fill out your Google form. So if you're using the System.io calendar, then connecting it with your Google Calendar, like I've just shown you, is going to be an absolute must. It's going to make it much easier for you to manage your clients, as well as preventing double bookings. So super important. So if you're currently on a free plan of System.io, and now is the right time to upgrade to a paid plan, or if you're on a paid monthly plan, either way, if you want to save up to 40% off your account, then you can do so via link in the description below this video. That link will also show you all the bonuses that I offer when you make your upgrade via that page. Now, if you want a step-by-step tutorial on exactly how to set up a client booking funnel, regardless if you want to use that funnel to offer free discovery calls or to charge for paid calls, then this is the next video you want to watch.